So here she has on, this is PBS, Gwen Ifill brings on Al Franken, who's considered a liberal senator. And he's a very quiet senator, I'll tell you that. I was hoping he would be much louder, but maybe he's playing the long game and being much stealthier and going under the radar and doing good things under the radar because maybe he learned a lesson from Grayson, Congressman Grayson, who was was much more fiery and much more of a bomb thrower in his first term, and now he's not that way, and he's getting a lot more done, but doing it underneath the radar.
That's the thing is, as a junior senator, and I've heard Franken talk about this, he has really worked at understanding how you actually get stuff done and bring it to the floor and get to actually talk about it. And I think the perfect counterpoint to him would be Ted Cruz, who has gotten exactly nothing done because because no one wants to talk to him.
Right.
Nobody wants to make deals.
He doesn't want to do legislation. Ted Cruz. He wants to. He's a psychopath who's in politics for the reason why most guys get in politics is to fill that hole inside of his soul that he'll never be able to fill with the admiration of strangers, which is why I got into comedy. So
same here.
So here is, and I'll never fill that hole. So here is Gwen Ifill asking Al Franken what he thinks about Merrick Garland, the nominee for Supreme Court by Barack Obama. Here we go.
You're a pretty liberal guy. What do you say to progressives who think the president missed an opportunity to make a more liberal pick?
I think the president made a wise pick. The White House reached out to Democrats on the Judiciary Committee, asked us what kind of nominee we'd like to see. I said, I want somebody who at the end of the...
I said, I don't want a liberal or a progressive. Don't do that. Don't do that, please. If you could find somebody who's to the right of the Democratic Party, just a little.
Hearings, the American people will say, I want 9 of those to be the Supreme Court. That's what I would like. I would like 9 of those. And it seems to me, from everything I know and I've heard about Judge Garland, that you'd want 9 of those.
So that was his rationale when Barack Obama asked who did they want as a nominee. He said, I want a justice who the American people will go, yeah, I want 9 of those. I don't know how you get to that kind of an argument. I never heard of that argument before. It's not supposed to be the same guys on the Supreme Court. It's supposed to have ideological differences, and you come together and you fight it out. So what he's saying is he thinks that every guy on the Supreme Court should be just like this guy, Merrick Garland, and that's what the Supreme Court needs. More 60-something-year-old guys from Harvard.
9 of them.
9 of them. 9 60-something-year-old white guys from Harvard on the Supreme Court. I disagree. I don't think we need 9 guys like that. I think we need maybe a black progressive instead of a black knucklehead like Justice Thomas. That would have been nice. How about a female black person on the Supreme Court? I don't know. I'm crazy. I just think that every once in a while, when we elect a Democrat, we could maybe get some liberal policies and some liberal justices. Just maybe. It would be nice to see what it's like to live under a liberal leader in a liberal government when we elect liberals. But we never get that. The most we get is centrists. Because when Republicans win
that's not true. I mean, we've gotten.
I'm talking about in the modern era.
But no, we got Elena Kagan.
You think she's liberal?
She's very liberal, and we got Elena Kagan and Sotomayor. They're both very liberal.
Sotomayor is not liberal. She's very corporate friendly. I don't think so. But I would have to disagree. What do you? Do you have any knowledge on this, Hank?
No, I was going to make a really stupid joke.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, this sounds like a great plot for Multiplicity 2. 9 identical white men take over the Supreme Court. Michael Keaton, I think he's ready. So anyway, that's my contribution.
I think Elena Kagan and I think Sonia Sotomayor are very much like this pick. They're sensible. They're in today's climate. They're considered liberal, but they're not really, right? In any other time.
Well, right. The extremes on the right get a position on the Supreme Court.
Yes,
like Thomas
but the extremes on the left do not. Let me just put it this way. So why is it when conservatives win elections, everybody's like, well, they got a mandate. You got to give in. But when Democrats win an election, they're like, hey, it's time for the Democrats to reach out.
Right.
It's time for them to reach across the aisle. It's time for compromise. They never say that when there's a Republican wave, like when they took over the House and the Senate. They never go, well, it's time for compromise now with Barack Obama. That's not, no. It's like, we've got a mandate. Not only that, but you're not even allowed to fulfill your constitutional duties of picking a Supreme Court nominee. We don't even let you do that. So that's the thing I'm talking about. So I think you would agree with that when conservatives win, they have a mandate, and when Democrats win, it's about time they reach across the aisle.
Be reasonable.
Be reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is what Obama is his primary concern in his legacy.
He's got that sickness, and so does Hillary Clinton have it, that they have this sickness inside them where they want to be liked by the people who hate them.
Well, they are playing politics like it's 30 years ago.
Yes, I agree with you there, too. I agree with you. The time, these are desperate times, but if you live in the White House or if you make $250,000 for an hour speech, you don't understand these are desperate times because you don't feel it, because your son-in-law is a Wall Street hedge fund manager, and you've been traveling the world on your own private jet, visiting heads of state, so you don't get that these are desperate times. And like Robert just said, they're still playing politics like it's 30 years ago, and things that the earth has shifted beneath them. I showed you in another video how the Democratic Party has become much more liberal since 2000, much more liberal. People are sick and tired of it. People under 30 are voting for Bernie Sanders 7-1. So you're right.